3 Christmas games, a couple of Saturday games, playoff spots that still have to be taken, and divisions that can be clinched, Week 17 is going to be a lot of fun. What's up, guys? Stick Support here, back to another video. And before I go on with my Week 17 picks, I just want to say Merry Christmas to everybody. Hope you have fun, get to spend time with your families, and get everything that you wanted. Now, on to these picks. I mentioned there were 3 Christmas games, and the first one's going to be Dallas taking on Washington. Even though both these teams are out, could be very interesting because you have Washington, who's going to be starting Josh Johnson with Marcus Mariota officially been declared out for the game, and they're going up against a Dallas defense that is one of the worst. In fact, they might be the worst at stopping the pass this year. And Washington has also been really good against the run in a tough season. But at the end of the day, I have to go with Dallas because I just don't know if Washington's going to be able to slow down this Dallas offense, especially if George Pickens can get going. Man, he has really broke out this year. He just made himself a lot of money. Detroit taking on Minnesota in the second matchup for Detroit. They have to win this game. It is a must-win. And by the way, why are Dallas and Detroit both playing on Thanksgiving and Christmas? That makes no sense to me. I just wanted to say that. Back to Detroit, they need to win. Okay? They need to win to keep their slim playoff hopes alive. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, it's just been a rough season for them. But how great would it be to be the ones to knock Detroit out of the playoffs? I don't have that happening. I do have Detroit win this game, but could be interesting to see happen. Let's move on. Denver taking on Kansas City. For Kansas City, Gardner Minshew just tore his ACL. So in the span of 2 weeks, Kansas City lost Patrick Mahomes to a torn ACL. Already had to get surgery on it because he also tore his LCL. And now they lose Gardner Minshew, their backup quarterback, again to a torn ACL. And now you're going up against Denver, who with a win and a Chargers loss, clinches the AFC West. Huh. Pretty bad. Give me Denver. Moving on. Speaking of the Chargers, they're at home taking on Houston in the first Saturday game. And for Houston, the goal is simple. Win, you're in the playoffs. Win, you're in the playoffs. Funny we're saying that now when, to start the season, they were not looking good, but they have really hit their stride. They're one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now. Maybe the hottest team right now. But for the Chargers, this is going to be a tough matchup because, the Chargers have been good. They've suffered injuries, but they're still winning. They just clinched a playoff spot. They're one of 3 teams to clinch a playoff spot with the Colts loss to the 49ers. And I say they get the win at home against Houston. Let's move on to the second game. Second game is going to be Baltimore taking on Green Bay. Baltimore is in the same spot as Detroit. They have to win this game if they want to keep their slim playoff hopes alive. That loss to New England almost sealed the deal for them, especially with Pittsburgh winning against Detroit. For Green Bay, hey, it may be a struggle for them right now, but win, you're in. They get the job done. Baltimore is knocked out of the playoffs. Green Bay clinches their spot. So in this scenario, Pittsburgh doesn't have to do anything because they would have already clinched the AFC North with Baltimore losing. But if Baltimore does win, then Pittsburgh just has to win and they're in. And they're taking on the Cleveland Browns. It is a road game, division road game, but the Browns just haven't been good for much of the season. And when you're taking on a rookie quarterback with the defense that Pittsburgh has, they should be able to take this one easily. I'm going Pittsburgh, so no matter what, Pittsburgh gets the AFC North. New England takes on the Jets. For the Jets, they still don't have an interception. Okay? They don't have an interception on the season. They have played 15 games and no interception. I don't know how that's possible. For New England, win, Buffalo loss, they get the division, they take care of business, they get the win against the Jets. Seattle takes on Carolina. Now both these teams, they can clinch their division if they win and get some help. For Seattle, it takes a win plus a Rams loss plus a 49er loss, and they have the division. For the Carolina Panthers, win and a Buccaneer loss, and they have their division. And Seattle could also clinch the number 1 seed, I believe, but that would take a lot more help, and it's just something I don't want to go over right now. I do have Seattle pulling off the win. Let's see if they get the division. Arizona takes on Cincinnati. These two teams, they just had it rough this year. For Cincinnati, they lose Joe Burrow for most of the season with a toe injury, and then he comes back and you have some signs of hope, and then you get shut out by your division rival, and it's all gone. That's pretty much sums up the Bengals as a franchise, if you ask me. But for Arizona, it's been just as bad because Kyler Murray gets hurt, and it looks like he's played his last down as an Arizona Cardinal. So yeah, both these teams, it just hasn't been a good season for them, and for this game, just give me the home team. I'm riding with Cincinnati on this one. Jacksonville takes on Indianapolis. Jacksonville, with a win and a Houston loss, gets the division. Now, I already have Houston losing to the Chargers, so can the Jaguars take care of business against Indianapolis? Of course they can. The question is, will they? Trevor Lawrence has been playing really good football lately. The defense has been on point. I mean, the Jaguars, they've been playing like the best team in the AFC for a good amount of time now. I mean, they have the #1 seed right now. They're the ones that have the #1 seed after taking down the Denver Broncos, and that game wasn't even close. Meanwhile, for the Colts, I mean, they got off to a hot start, and then things just went downhill fast. They lose Daniel Jones, they bring in Phillip Rivers, and I'm still confused by that. But for this game, just give me Jacksonville, and they get their division. Tampa Bay takes on Miami. For Tampa Bay, I already went over this. Carolina beat them last week, so Carolina has the edge in the division. They win, or Carolina loses, then it comes down to the final week of the season. I already have Carolina losing, but for Tampa Bay, I do have them beating Miami. For Miami, benching Tua Tagovailoa, they have to figure out what they're going to do with him in the offseason. It does look like Mike McDaniel is going to be back as head coach next year. We'll see what happens with the Dolphins in the offseason. I am going to go Tampa Bay over Miami in this battle of Florida teams. New Orleans taking on Tennessee. For Tennessee, I say they go back-to-back on wins. I say they get the win this week after beating Kansas City. Cam Ward, he's starting to play good football. Meanwhile, for New Orleans, they got a win too, and Tyler Shuck's been playing pretty good football as well. So this is a battle between rookie quarterbacks. This could get interesting, but I am going to go with the home team in Tennessee. Giants taking on the Raiders. This is pretty much a battle for the #1 overall pick. Whoever loses this game more than likely gets the #1 overall pick. I am going to go with the Raiders over the Giants on this one. For the Giants, looks like they have a quarterback in Jackson Dart, so if they do get the #1 overall pick, what will they do with it? For the Raiders, if they get it, will they go quarterback? Philadelphia takes on Buffalo. Both these teams have already clinched playoff spots. Philadelphia clinched the division. First back-to-back winner in the NFC East since 2004 when it was the Eagles. So they won the division again. They still have some seasons to figure out, but you have to go into the playoffs at your best, and beating Buffalo, that would look good for them. For Buffalo, they want to stay in fight for the AFC East. They cannot lose this game. I do have Buffalo winning, and by the way, Buffalo was another team that had clinched a playoff spot with that cold loss, and I forgot, the other one was the Jaguars. Chicago takes on San Francisco. San Francisco, they're in the playoffs. After all the injuries that they've had, they are in the playoffs, and you get to the playoffs, anything goes. We know that. For Chicago, win it, they get the division. This team has been really good this year. Really, really good. Now, they have to just do one thing. Beat the 49ers. I say they do that. And our last game is the Rams taking on Atlanta. Of course Atlanta's playing their best football when their quarterback gets injured and they're out of the playoff race. Of course they do that. Why can't this team ever be good? Why? Why can't they just play good football all year long? I don't know. For the Rams, they're still in it for the division, but they have to win this game. They cannot lose this game. I say they get it done. They get the win over Atlanta and stay in that division race for another week. Alright guys, those were my picks for Week 17. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Who do you think is going to get the #1 seed in both the AFC and NFC? Let me know what you think. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.